I'm Craig.
And I'm Nada.
And this is the Yes, No, Maybe podcast.
Hey, what?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Sound of Clarity, tuning in when life gets loud. So today's conversation is about what happens when the world gets noisy and the power of music, mindset, and presence to bring us back to ourselves. We're joined by two incredible voices, Nada Allali, Capital FM host and cultural connector who curates soundtracks that move people nightly across the UK.
Wow.
Wow.
Literally.
And Craig Leslie, mindset coach and founder of Wabia, who helps people quiet their inner critic, overcome self-doubt, and set healthy boundaries for themselves. Welcome, Craig. So before we dive into everything that you guys have built and achieved, can you take us back to a moment where you had no clear path but kept going anyway? Nada, we'll kick it off with you.
Do you know what it is? I think the creative space in general is like one of those places where a lot of people don't know where to start. And I think the quickest question is like, okay, so what do I do first? Or so you kind of just throw yourself in there and you have no idea where you're going because there are no rules. Everyone has a completely different journey. So it's like, you don't get paid. No one talks about like you don't actually get paid for like a lot of the time until you finally get a real job, like that you can take to your mom and your dad and be like, okay, I'm on a salary. And that's probably like one of those things, it's like doing a lot of work and not seeing necessarily in return. And then at one point it kind of just like, okay, mom, I'm on a salary now. So, yeah.
I think for me, it's about, like for the longest time, we go through life just building habits from other people, just moving what we think we need to do. And I think there's a point in time where you realize that's not actually me, and you've got to figure out what do you want, what lights you up, what brings you joy, and that's basically where I found my path.
Okay, so speaking of what lights you up, can you tell us what is Wabia and why does the world need it?
So Wabia is an acronym for We Are Because You Are, which is basically taken from the Ubuntu philosophy. For those that don't know Ubuntu, it's a South African philosophy that says, I am because you are. Essentially, it's a shared humanity that I am a result of the conditioning that I am around. So if someone is sad within my surroundings, there's sadness around. If someone's happy, there's happiness. So it's that shared belief of humanity, and I think that's the best way to live life.
So Nada, the right playlist at the right moment can change a day or a life. What goes into the art of curating energy through music?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it's understanding that the world can be like a really sad place. And I think people look at entertainment and music as like a means of escape. So a lot of the time you're trying to find vibrational sounds that, you know, make you feel good and happy, and whether that's connected to moments, whether that's connected to even instrumentals or stuff like that. I think it's all just about community and enjoyment. So right playlist, right time, for sure.
So if you weren't feeling 100% yourself, what music would you go to shift your mindset?
I don't know about anyone else, but I create playlists on moods. Like, do you know, like...
Craig does the
Do
exact
you do that
same
as well?
thing.
Like, I'm like a mood playlist. Like, sometimes you want to have a cry.
Exactly.
So you have like, I'm going to cry playlist. And then you have like, I'm really happy, I just need something upbeat playlist. And I think it's okay to express yourself. I don't know why there's this kind of like culture of like suppressing emotion, like being really like, you know, and, I think the best way to kind of flow through a day is feeling exactly how you're feeling in that moment, and if you need to let it out, let it out. Music's a great kind of way to allow yourself to do that as well. So, yeah.
So if someone is stuck in, say, a negative mindset, what is one small step that you could take, or that perhaps you tell your clients to take to shift their mindset and put them in a better frame of mind?
You just got to prove that limiting belief wrong. So you've got to prove whatever that fear is wrong. So find the smallest way of moving through that to show that that's actually just a belief or a misconception that you're holding. And then, yeah, action. The more you think, the more it will spiral. So put that into movement, into action, into something that gets you going. And that's where you get the real results back.
So how do you keep the passion alive when your motivation starts to fade?
That's a huge question. Thanks, Hannah.
Probably got to get a question before now.
Honestly, to keep motivation alive, you've just got to find what works for you. For me, it's centering myself again. It's using music to change states, like finding what is resonating with me within that moment. Yeah. As you rightly said, like if I'm feeling low, put on the sad songs, put on the slow grooves, put on whatever else, and then really curate the list to pick your mood up and try to alter that state. Yeah. But in terms of momentum, just focus on what you can do in the moment. Like your North Star is your North Star. Everything is large and maybe overwhelming, but everything can be broken down into smaller steps and just move from there. Just keep that passion alive.
I read something the other day, and it's so simple, but it's like if you know your why, then the how becomes easier to understand. If like you have your why, it doesn't matter how. I think after that, it's like if you have like an idea or a goal in mind, it's like, okay, how are we going to do this? We'll figure it out. But the why is, I think, the really important key point of it all.
Well, speaking of the why, for anyone who wants to break out into the entertainment industry in the way that you do it, so radio and presenting, and it's not a straight line at all. It's not linear. It's you know, ups and downs and all around. How did you do it? And I guess what's one piece of advice you'd give someone to, you know, who's knocking on the door and trying to open it and really just wants to run through it?
Yeah, persistence.
Yeah.
Persistence is a big one. And I think it's like, industries aren't different in terms of like, I think how you would do it in business is how you would do it in the entertainment field. It's like being able to take those no's and being like an annoying little bee, just like buzzing around the right people and creating relationships across rather than above as well. I think everyone thinks they need to network with the people who are on top, but really when you're moving through a space, the people that are next to you are your friends, and you guys are going to grow together in this industry, and whatever industry it is really. With me, I was annoying as hell. Oh my God, I wouldn't be out of people's DMs, and I got lucky. Luck did play a big part. I was scouted by Apple Music first, who saw me on a show, and then kind of brought me into their umbrella, into their world. And then from there, things kind of just like spiraling. Then I was like, I'm a big sports fan. I love sports. And then I started just like going to every single football match I could, trying to like, and then the Prem came along, the Premier League, and it was just about being in the right places and understanding where it is you need to be, and just not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I was going to say, are there any interviews, any one that you've interviewed that's just like a standout memory or story that you can share?
I think
with
we
us
were talking
today?
about it because I love Formula One, so I love Daniel Ricciardo, and he's such a character. And sometimes you get people that are just like complete shells of like, but he literally just, the first thing he did was do a shoey. And he just like, and it was like 9 in the morning. And
Is that when you drink alcohol out of a shoe?
Yeah.
what are you doing? It's disgusting, but you know, a little bit fun. So he was great.
Did you drink out of his shoe or?
I drank out of my own shoe. I'm not trying to get too experimental. But yeah, it was a great interview, and it's nice when you have people that just like respond off energy and vibe. So he was great.
So would you agree that your network is your net worth?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think it helps. I don't think you should
yeah.
go in with the intention that that is what it is and that's the outcome, because then you're going in for the wrong reasons. But 100%, like the more people you know, the more opportunities present themselves. And the more you can place yourselves within those opportunities, you can say yes or no, or maybe, I suppose, to those opportunities.
Hey, ching, ching, ching.
Going to energy, I know that Kendall is an actor and you've done voice coaching. What's it, voiceover?
Yeah,
work.
voiceover work, yeah.
How do you keep your energy up doing night, radio hosting? You've got to talk with a smile at all times. When you've got things going on personally or your energy is not 100%, how do you keep that?
I think it's ADHD, but honestly, I don't. It does take, I think, a particular type of personality to be very high energy as well, and and kind of push through that. I think I'm just one of those people, like I don't shut up, and a lot of people at home probably would want me to shut up more. But yeah, it's just knowing, a lot of it is adrenaline too. And I know when you go live on radio, it's just knowing, you can see like, or understand how many people are listening in. So it's like, that's an adrenaline booster. And you're just like, I'm sure it's the same with like sports, or if you're going into a big business deal and you're closing a deal or whatever. So I think things run off of, yeah, momentum and energy.
Yeah. I'm always intrigued about having mentors or having people in life that you know you can get advice from, but you can also learn a lot from in your particular field, but also just in general. So do you guys have any mentors that have helped you along the way? Craig, we'll start with you. That has taught you something in particular, and yeah, just can you share anything about that?
I think mentors are key, because mentors have been there, done that. It's not to say that that is the path that you are meant to walk, but it's the advice that they can bring and the perspective that they can bring and the networks that they can bring that can help build you out and really look at the blind spots upon your growth. And you can take whatever works for you and whatever resonates and use that. And it's a sounding board as well. It's an experienced pair of eyes, ears, etc., that you can go and you can learn off of. So there's been really key ones for me. Moments in my life, I reached out on LinkedIn to many marketing directors and CMOs and C-suites, etc., and a couple of them did respond, and that's how my mentorship process began. What about you?
Thanks. Yeah, I was lucky to have a lot of people along my journey, but there's one in particular. I think the way he just looked at everything from just like a step back. So he could really just look at a situation and kind of, and he's not necessarily like, he wasn't a presenter, he was just someone who's kind of been in the business side of the entertainment world. And I think that's like a nice balance, because where I was more on the creative side, I found it very difficult to see things from like business perspectives and like kind of understanding the bigger picture of things. And he just allowed me to kind of take a step back. And he would ask a lot of difficult questions, and I think that was nice. It was challenging. Yeah, now we just link up for bubbles and champagne. It's great.
That's nice.
Did you always want to be a presenter? Was that kind of your calling? How did you end up in this space?
I think it was like, I was like a performing arts kid, so, you know, you did like the whole acting and everything, and I did go back to acting school because I thought it actually helped with presenting. But I did radio at uni, like the radio station, came out, was like, okay, no, let's do this now. And yeah, I did a show on Link Up TV, which I casted for, and it was just a bunch of kids basically reviewing albums. Like, it was just, we were just having fun with it. And that's where Apple had saw me on, and I guess they saw the potential, and I managed to really carve out like a real presenting career there. And then from there, yeah, it's just.
What do you guys do when confidence doesn't show up? So, you know, when you're coaching a client, for instance, Craig, and maybe you're having a bad day, and so are they, and you're trying to help build their mindset and help them come out of this, but you're also struggling. How do you make sure that you show up and you are the best version of yourself for that person to help them get through whatever it is that they need to get through?
Again, I think it's coming back to yourself. Like, you can't be anything but yourself in that moment, that circumstance. So come back to yourself, center yourself. I do that through music a lot, like binaural beats, etc. I know I've shared playlists.
Can we tell them the fun fact about your Spotify?
I don't even know this fun fact.
The one that you're like top 1%.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's like top 1% listeners on Spotify, which is crazy, by the way. Yeah. You know when it does like Spotify raps and you know how many minutes you've listened to?
Yeah.
How many minutes do you have?
It was like 120,000.
That's not normal. It's not normal.
I mean, like over 5,000 new artists that are not well known.
Yeah,
No.
so
Crazy.
music really, as you can tell, music really helps me align, and I really like what it does for me because it changes my state. So I really use that, but it's being authentic, it's being open, it's being collaborative, because it's an environment where you need that psychological safety between you guys. So it's that shared space of safety to be like, listen, I'm not at my 100% today, I'm at 80, but let's work through this, let's get there.
As obviously you work in music, as an upcoming artist or musician that's trying to break through all of this competition, and Spotify, there's just thousands and thousands of songs getting uploaded every day. What would your advice be for an upcoming artist to kind of break through the noise?
It's so difficult now because I feel like we're all just ran by like an algorithm. Like we're just chasing this kind of like number thingy. So really and truly, everyone's going to say TikTok, can't they? Like, do a TikTok thing.
Which is also oversaturated.
Which is oversaturated. And it's sad because it's like you're losing the art and like the creativity and like the process that it takes to create really good, lasting music. I think we're just here for like moments now, which I guess is a reflection of society and how we are. Like, but honestly, I think it's just, it's being really good at what you do as well. Taking the time to really master your craft and having that kind of like, I guess, je ne sais quoi that somebody else might not have, and what is your like niche, and whether it's a voice, whether it's like how you are on like production and how, sounds. But it's also understanding that I think you have to play the game a little bit. Like, as much as you can have all these great tools in your pocket, it's knowing that things are running on this kind of frequency right now, and whether I like it or not, and whatever like deep artist feel that you have of how social media is ruining music, it's how it gets to people. So it's learning and understanding how to play the game. It's like, it's not enough to be a creative anymore. You have to be equally as business savvy, which is, I guess, maybe ruin the creative.
So you mentioned about luck in your career. Do you think there is an element of luck more than talent, or? That's a big question.
Yeah,
sorry.
I think it's like, there is an element of, I do think there is luck, because luck could be being at the right place at the right time, or meeting the right person at the right time, but the right time is still an element of it, so you have to kind of be prepared, because there's no point in going to a room where like, there's everybody that you need to meet, but you have nothing to show. That's like nothing, good for nothing. So it's being, I guess, the cliche, prepared enough that when luck does come like on your little journey, that it can meet it.
So be ready.
Be ready.
Be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Be ready.
Do either of you have a moment that you can share where, our podcast is all about yes, no, maybe, all about the small no's and maybes that ultimately get you to your big yeses. So is there a moment that you could share where you were striving for something, maybe you had a million no's and eventually you got that one yes, which was the breakthrough that you needed?
I mean, I think for me, I'll answer that from a different approach. I think for me, I was involved in corporate basically my entire life. I've worked for Amazon, I've worked with Adidas, worked with global brands. Amazon then went through a redundancy where they knocked 19,000 people off their workforce, and I was part of that number. I think that no, for me, really changed my trajectory. I was like, what does this mean for me? I was a corporate person, I was climbing the ladder, I was doing all the right things, but I think it's brought me back to what do I want to do and what impact do I want to leave in the world. So I see that as an open door, even though it was a no.
But I'm really intrigued about the mindset of someone who comes from a big corporate and then starts their own company. That's a giant leap, and not everyone can do it. And not everyone does it because it's so difficult. So, can you tell us just a little bit about the mindset of having to say, okay, this is the idea I have. Now I'm going to make it happen. How do I make money? How do I get funding? Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
I think it all comes down to a word you used earlier, resilience. Like, as a founder, especially when you're in startup mode, there are 1,000 fires. You need to wear the lawyer hat, the finance hat. There's multiple hats that you need to wear, and you need to know where your blind spots are and who you can call upon within your circles that can just assist you or guide you or say, I've been there before. So I'd really say that it's a big step to take. You'll go through moments where you'll really start questioning if this is right for you. But that pressure test really pays dividends when you get the big yeses from multinationals that want you involved with their C-suite leadership teams and changing their professional and personal lives. That's when the validation comes in, and that's when you know, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this. Just repeat that pattern until it doesn't work, and then I need to switch again. So yeah, just be nimble, really.
Be nimble.
So, question for both of you. Have you ever said yes to something you had no idea how you were going to execute it, and you just figured it out?
Yeah, I did boxing. I accepted a job for DAZN, basically cover all the boxing. It's like a channel, and they did a crossover fight with the Misfits. So I remember the woman was like, you don't really need to know too much about boxing, like, you know, you did need to know a lot about, like, they threw me in, I've had all these in-ears, and I kept calling it a match, and they were getting so angry, they were like, it's a fight. But I'm like, it's a boxing match. And I flunked that so badly, and it was live. Oh, I don't know if they wanted to call me again, but we've been working, and that's gotten better. But that was terrible. I definitely should have done more research on that.
What did you learn from that? That you can kind of just wing it, or
You can't always just wing it. You really can't always
Gotta be
just wing
prepared
it.
sometimes, yeah.
Preparation is key for everything, and sometimes you think that you can, and even if someone does tell you maybe you can wing it, it's always better to be overly prepared. So yeah, that was definitely not my finest moment.
We've literally got like 2.5 minutes left. I'm just watching this clock just like tick down. So I think to end off, you know, what would one piece of advice be from both of you in your industries? You know, for someone who's wanting to start their own business, or you know, who wants to break out into radio or entertainment. Yeah, one piece of advice that we can leave this lovely audience with.
I think I'm going to steal what you said earlier. Like, understand your why, understand the purpose. If you're doing it just to make money, like, if there's a market opportunity and you can do it, go for it. But if there is passion, purpose, intention, if it lights you up, it gives you more energy than it drains the energy away from you, then go for it. And break it down into small steps, break it down into manageable steps. And I think when you're starting a company, you have to, in my own experience, you have to make sure that you're ready to jump when you need to jump. Like, stay in your role, get paid, etc., burn the midnight oil, keep doing that until it's time to change. That's probably the easiest kind of parachute or plan B.
The why is so important because, again, like you said, if you're doing it for the money doesn't come usually at first. So it's also having an idea of like secure, because I think when you do things out of desperation, the journey is less enjoyable, and it's also, you probably make wrong decisions too as well, because you're so desperate to, I guess, support yourself. So I would always say maybe have like a security blanket, in the sense of like, if you do need to work as well, and then have like your dream and what it is you really want to aspire on the side, you just have to work twice as hard of it as everyone else, and that's just it. But I wouldn't recommend for anyone to, you know, just be like, just jump. I think that can put you into a really bad state where you almost lose the love of what it is and the why and what you're doing. So, yeah.
I think just off the back of that, like, I'm paraphrasing here, but there's something to do with like life, in terms of, if you treat life like a song, nobody's trying to get to the end of their favorite song. Everybody's trying to enjoy the chorus, enjoy the moments throughout the song, the different melodies, rhythms. Treat life like that. Like, you will have ups and downs. No matter if you're going after your passion, your purpose, whatever, you are going to be doing this. So find something that truly aligns with you and go forward and enjoy your song. Enjoy that moment.
I love
That's beautiful.
I think that's a great way to end.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both so much for being here. So much fun having you on the stage, and thank you to everyone for listening to us. It's been an honor to be part of South by Southwest, and our podcast will be launching officially tomorrow. So please subscribe.